have I mentioned lately how much I love the playoffs? I mean that. Um, this time of year, predictability is there, but sometimes it goes a little bit out the window. Tonight, we anticipated this dogfight between Minnesota and Winnipeg, and it didn't really happen. The first period, it started off fast. It was 39 seconds into the game, and Trouba scores from Scheifele and Connor, and I was like, okay, this is a Winnipeg lead, or Minnesota maybe. And before I could even get that thought fully formed, Little scored his first of the playoffs from Bufflin and Stastny. Now my thought process was, okay, well, it's 2-0, a 2-goal lead. Minnesota if. And I had all these scenarios in my head for maybe if Minnesota could come up with this or come up with that attack, maybe if they can limit the chances of this line or that line. Then Brandon Tanev scores a goal. And then 49 seconds after that, Armia scores from Buffalo and Copp. At that point, of course, I did the video that's been posted to this channel about the blitz in the first period put up by the Winnipeg Jets and the incredible performance that they've shown overall. And really, honestly, these playoffs are about those kinds of moments. And in the third period, Scheifele scores his fourth of the playoffs from Stastny and Wheeler. So Stastny with 2 assists, Bufflin with 2 assists, Scheifele with the goal and an assist. And Scheifele was interviewed after the game. And honestly, Mark Scheifele is one of my favorite players. As the season wore on, and I think with more time to watch hockey this year than I've had previous and being able to watch every team, Scheifele really, really impressed me all year. I felt like he was a much untalked about superstar. Even with Winnipeg, we always talk about Laine. Every conversation starts and ends with Laine. Wheeler gets in there sometimes. Scheifele somehow gets lost in the shuffle. And maybe a game like tonight might punctuate just how solid he is. It was a tremendous all-around performance for the Winnipeg Jets in this series. Minnesota just didn't have an answer. Dubnyk saved 6 out of 10 shots, but I'm not going to lay this on Dubnyk either. And if you watch the handshake line after the game, when Hellebuck and Dubnyk squared up, Hellebuck said something encouraging to Dubnyk and gave him a pat on the chest, and Dubnyk did the same for Hellebuck. I think one of my favorite things about hockey is that camaraderie, that after a brutal, vicious, or very highly contested series, the guys still line up and they all shake hands, except Milan Lucic. And it's really an amazing experience to see these guys all line up like that, and their discussions as they go through the line. Again, except Lucic. And I mentioned Lucic just because there's still a part of me that's just anyways. Stalock made 15 saves in relief, and let's hand it to Alex Stalock here. He comes into a game where he can't win. They're not going to win, and he actually played pretty solid. But how about Hellebuck? Was there anybody that really doubted Hellebuck was going to get the shutout with about 10 minutes left? So now Hellebuck's got back-to-back shutouts. I know he had one in Game 4. This one really impressed me. With the pressure at home, Winnipeg with a chance to move on to the next round, and the announcers, Canadian announcers nonetheless, are already comparing his composure and his poise to that of guys like Patrick Roy, which is a little bit of a reach. And this is how desperate Canada is for a Stanley Cup champion, that as soon as a team in Canada advances with ease, it doesn't happen very often. When a team in Canada wins with ease, we start comparing their goalie to Patrick Roy. In Hellebuck's case, he's had a very strong season. His numbers are excellent now going into the second round. And I really think now, right now, as I'm recording this, we're checking out Nashville and Colorado. If Nashville wins that game, wow, that is going to be one dynamite series. I noticed Winnipeg fans, the mockery of Dubnyk after about the third goal, and all I could think was, people get mad at Nashville for doing it, but all fans really do it. They just do it differently. They don't do it after every goal. And then after the fourth goal, when Stalock went in the second, I heard Jets fans chanting, "We want Dubnyk," which was hearkening back to for me, to I want to say 97, 96 or 97, when Ron Hextall was starting for the New York Islanders against the New York Rangers, and it was a complete disaster for the New York Islanders and Ron Hextall. And then when Hextall was replaced in a game, I'm pretty sure it was Dublowicz that started that game. I'm just throwing that name out there. Maybe it could be Flaherty. Anyways, the backup starts, and after the Rangers put a couple of goals on that goalie, the Rangers fans are all chanting, "We want Hextall," and it was insane. And it felt that way with Winnipeg tonight. That there was this confidence by the fans, both inside the arena and out. And kudos to the fans who were outside the arena in the elements, because I mean it's Winnipeg, and I know it's April, but it's Winnipeg, and the Prairies have had kind of a chilly spring. So kudos to them for being outside. A couple got married. Congratulations to those guys. Great feeling. And they also revealed during the game that there was at least one that we know of member of the Humboldt Broncos that was there. Very, very moving that a player from that team was at the game tonight, and that's just awesome. It's a perfect exclamation point at the end of the series that something that amazing can come out of something that's really been this tragic thing for Canada, and hopefully is this rallying point now. And of course, we'll get to what's going to go on tomorrow with people from this channel in remembrance of somebody who was a subscriber to this channel, and that was awesome. That so many people over the last week or so have come together, and this time of year is just there's just something happens in this country, and I don't know how many parts of the states get affected by it too, but it's magic. It just is. Speaking of magic, I don't know what black magic Philly did. I don't know what voodoo priest they visited before the game, but it worked. In the first period, Giroux gets off the snide. He finally gets a goal from Voracek and Filppula. Filppula got himself on the board and decided he liked it. This was going to be his night. However, in the second, Rust scores his second of the playoffs from Sherry and Broussard. Gensel scores his second of the playoffs from Crosby and Simone, and they started to talk about Gensel and how big a playoff performer he is, rightfully so. And there was a lot of talk about Pittsburgh, and then Philly scores shorthanded. Not something they're known for. Filppula gets his first of the playoffs from Laterra. I told you he liked that feeling of getting on the score sheet. So going into the third period, it's a 2-2 tie. It's in Pittsburgh. Clearly, Pittsburgh's going to win, and they don't. Couturier gets a goal from Simmons, and then an empty netter by Matt Reed from Filppula. So Filppula with 3 points for Philly. And this is kind of an interesting spot now. So while there's a lot of teams, Winnipeg's the latest. We've got 3 now in the West that are waiting for the next round. Pittsburgh had a chance to get themselves a nice long break between rounds 1 and 2. They kind of lost that now. Now they got to play on Sunday in Philly. Probably an afternoon game. I haven't seen the time confirmed yet, but it'll probably be an afternoon game. Philly at home, afternoon game. Maybe they can win one. See, this is the funny part with this series too. Pittsburgh now is 1-2 at home. They're 2-0 on the road, and so Philly's going home trying to win their first game at home. And if they do, they get Game 7 in Pittsburgh next Tuesday. So, I've been asked about this, by some new fans to the hockey, and no team that is done in the first round plays for the second round until the first round is completely over with. I know the NBA, they have that overlap sometimes, which I've always found really weird to see games from different rounds taking place the same night. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. And it doesn't happen with hockey. So until all of the first round games are over, nobody in the second round plays. And I think that's advantageous to the teams like Winnipeg, Vegas, and San Jose who are done already. So anybody who got hurt for Winnipeg, I believe it's Armia that got hurt during this game. And Ehlers didn't play, and we still didn't know why he didn't play. I didn't say anything about what was wrong with him. But anyways, any ailments that are bothering the Winnipeg Jets, they probably have about a week to get them better. And Philly lives to fight another day. So good night for Philly fans, and I'm happy about this. Even though I didn't think Philly stood much of a chance in this series, I took Pittsburgh in 5, and now here we are going to Game 6. So hey, that's kind of fun. The Battle of Pennsylvania is not over yet. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. This probably just puts off the inevitable of Pittsburgh winning, but there are those occasions where a 3-1 series lead doesn't equal a victory in 7 games. Sometimes the team that's behind 3-1 comes back, wins 3 in a row, wins it in 7. Could Philly do that? Question for you, Philly fans and Pittsburgh fans. Could they do it? Neuwirth with 30 saves tonight. Was this just a matter of Pittsburgh not getting the right shots on Neuwirth? Or was Neuwirth really that world beater tonight? Murray makes 21 saves on 24 shots. There was some talk about the shorthanded goal by Filppula kind of catching him off guard, potentially because he wasn't facing enough shots. So, again, are more shots better, or do more shots just make sure that the goalie is in the game and he's warmed up? And for the goalie who's faced fewer shots, is it tougher for him on the occasion where somebody's coming in on a break for him to be ready? I know that does happen on occasion. Did that happen to Matt Murray? And did Pittsburgh just go into Philly and beat them for a third time in Philly? So let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys for watching. This is an amazing playoffs. I'm glad to share it with you guys. And I will be very glad to share the floor with some players tomorrow night in Pitt Meadows. That's going to be fun. I'll talk to you again soon.